Hi, my name is Theo, and you are listening to Between Two Trains. We bring you the best and brightest entrepreneurs in the North DeKalb area on the 1st and 15th of every month. Today, your co-hosts are Van Pappas and Eric Most. And now, Between Two Trains.
Welcome to another Between Two Trains. We come to you on the 1st and the 15th of every month. And this episode, we have, again, to my right, Eric Most from Chase Bank. Again,
hello.
Yeah. Eric, this is becoming a regular thing.
So fresh.
You've
so
pushed
cool.
all the other co-hosts out and said, I'm taking control of this.
Yeah, you got to stay close to the basket.
Okay.
You know?
So, Eric, we've got an entrepreneur and his wife with us today. So what is really sort of special to me is, and you don't know this yet, Eric, but I've known this entrepreneur since I was about 12 years old.
Oh, good.
So other than my parents, I don't think there's many other human beings on this planet that I've known longer. So let me welcome on to the show Jason Ianitello and his wife Chelsea. Guys, welcome to the show. How are you?
Thanks for having us.
So your business is Closet Designs and More. Jason, tell us exactly what Closet Designs and More does. Other than closets.
Yeah, we are a full-service organizational company, really, more so than just closets, which, of course, is why we added the "and more" at the end of it. We sell a complete line of custom closets, pantries, laundry room cabinetry, mudroom area, bench spaces. We have a complete office line of products. We have a complete garage line of products. So we do garage cabinetry, all of that kind of stuff. So it's pretty much anything organizational in your house that you need help with creating a better storage space. We can make it happen.
You're a rheumatologist.
For the most part, yeah.
All jokes aside, anything in the room, you can help find a place for it.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Yep.
So, Chelsea, you are part of the business, but you were more than part of the business because it was actually your father's business, correct?
That's right.
So he started the business, ran it, and then Jason came along and tell us that story.
So my dad had reached the point where him and my 95-year-old grandfather couldn't do the installs by themselves anymore. And Jason was looking to jump ship from corporate America, so it was sort of a good fit. He started doing installs, and my dad would just sell, and we've kind of grown from there. Now it's a lot bigger.
So your dad is retired? He's not part of the business anymore?
Yes, lucky him. He moved out to the Lake Oconee, and he doesn't work anymore. He plays golf.
Oh, very nice.
Yes.
How long has the business been going?
2008 is when we started.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And then I joined the company full time in 2011, and then he has been retired since last June, so June of 2018.
So let's talk about that. So since June of 2018, this is your ship now.
Yep.
So what was that like saying, okay, I went from working with my father-in-law to now I'm running things? Or were you kind of running things before?
I'll be honest with you. I would say since probably the summer of 2017, so about a year before his actual departure, he was pretty much hands-off at that part. He was still doing the bookkeeping, but that was really about it. He wasn't running sales calls on a regular basis anymore. We had hired designers to help me run the sales calls, and so he was probably doing 20% of the capacity that he was at when he was doing the whole thing. So it wasn't that hard of a transition because of that.
Gotcha. I was going to ask about that transition because we've had some entrepreneurs that were family owned and then, the child or the employee took over. So, it sounds like that wasn't a big deal because sometimes it can be. Sometimes, you get these A-type personality entrepreneurs who've built this business and they just don't want to let go,
That we could see that happening because I'll be honest with you, we had originally when I joined the company, we had a 5-year plan. Him and I sat down, we had a 5-year plan.
A 5-year plan for you to take over?
To take over the business.
Okay.
And 7 years later, he was still in it, and so we had to sit down again and just say, listen, the plan has already been revamped once. We don't want to continue to have the plan get revamped many more times. So we think that that it is a good plan that we go to the bank, get a loan, and buy the business outright from you.
You bought him out.
We bought him out.
Okay.
Correct.
And so, Eric is here with Chase Bank. So what was that process like? Maybe Eric, y'all can talk about, that process of going to the bank and saying, hey, we've got an existing business. I'm the son-in-law. I want to buy it. How hard was that for you?
Well, it's funny how it all ended up working out in the long run, but the short of it is we were working with SunTrust Bank in order to obtain a SBA loan. Mm-hmm. And we, as you probably well know, Eric, that's a pretty decently long process, lot of paperwork and a lot of everything. So at the very beginning, we had a professional appraisal done to the company and by a third party, and then we took that number to SunTrust, and they agreed that SBA was the way to go. Mm-hmm. So we pursued that avenue, and then basically in the very end, we were like a minute away from signing on the dotted line per se, and we said, all right, well, now that we have all the numbers, give me a night to sleep on it. We're just going to it's a big investment, all that kind of stuff. We actually went back to Chelsea's dad, Bill, and just said, hey, do me a favor. I know this is kind of weird because you own it, but do me a favor. I don't know a tremendous amount about the SBA programs and all that kind of stuff. You're a very smart business guy. We look up to him for a lot of other things other than business. So we said, do me a favor, put a second set of eyes on it just to make sure everything looks good to you. Mm-hmm. So he did that, and the next day he came back to us and he says, hey guys, they're charging you a lot of money. And I'm like, well, that's how SBA works. It's you have the initiation fee, which is a percentage, and then you've got the interest rates and, amortized and all that kind of good stuff. So he said, hey, what if I was to be the bank so that you didn't have to go through the bank? I will still walk away clean. We'll still get lawyers involved. We'll sign. Everything will still be 100% official. But you will save $75,000 in the long run over the 10-year term. Mm-hmm. So we then said, let us sleep on it. So we slept on it. We talked. We prayed. We did a whole bunch of soul searching, and decided that ended up being the way that we went. Mm-hmm. So we actually ended up keeping it out of the bank. So I know that's terrible talking to you about that because you're like, wait, I'm a banker. But it really, because he wanted to stay in it longer than we wanted him to stay in it, this was kind of his financial peace of mind for the next 10 years of his life.
Sure. Yeah.
Granted, he didn't get all of the money up front like he would have with an SBA loan, but because he was very frugal and fiscal with his money throughout the tenure of his career, I don't feel like that was a big deal to him.
It should have helped him as well from a tax standpoint.
Yeah.
Probably.
He spread out those taxes over 10 years rather than paying it all at once.
So we did. We hired lawyers and got everything cleared through the state of Georgia, the Secretary of State, all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. So it was literally, wasn't it July 1st, right?
Yeah.
Or June 29th
June 30th.
Or something? June 30th, we officially closed on the business of last year. And since that day, he's been doing his thing and we've been doing our thing. So it's a great.
Let's
great
circle back
transition.
to the business itself. So you told us what you do and all the different things besides just the closet itself. Tell us about the business. You have some employees, right? Tell us about all that and
Okay. So currently we stand at 6 employees, and that includes Chelsea and myself. We do not subcontract any work. Our employees are actually W-2 employees.
Everyone's a W-2.
We do not live out of the business. We pay ourselves salaries, and so go ahead.
We have 3 installers
Yeah.
and a designer, and Jason and myself do sales calls as well. So we design for clients whatever space they need work on.
Yeah.
So when your father-in-law was still there, you were actually doing some of the installs, right? You don't do that anymore?
I don't do that anymore. I hadn't been actually doing day-to-day installs for probably the last 3 years.
Only at our house.
Only
Oh,
in
in your
our
house?
Yes,
Yeah.
only in our house. So we have we hired installers about 3 to 4 years ago to help manage the day-to-day process, so that we knew that this day was going to come eventually. So I wanted to get my feet wet on the sales and all that kind of stuff. So right now I do about 50% of all the sales calls. We have a full-time designer that gets probably 30%, and Chelsea probably takes the other 20%.
All right, so I'm going to ask who's the better salesperson, you or him? Who closes more?
I love that question.
Who closes more?
I do.
You close more,
Yeah.
even though you're
I
doing
have a
fewer
higher
calls?
percentage for
The
the
actual
number
close-
of
You keep
cards.
track of that, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
And you show him that.
That's
We
part of my
do.
job is
Yeah.
to report to him, hey, I closed 65% this quarter.
Right.
You
Right.
closed 55.
So the percentage of sales calls, yes, she has had the highest.
The
rate thus
volume
far.
is you're more volume, but she's a better closer.
She won't want to talk about that number.
So it sounds to me like she needs to get out and do more calls.
That's exactly what I'm on her about all the time. I said, baby, it's time to step it up.
Right.
Okay,
So-
I just need an assistant.
So y'all are actually located in Chamblee. Y'all have some warehouse space on what's that? Green Industrial. Back
right, yeah.
for those who are listening are not familiar with where Green Industrial. It's down where the Motor Mile is, back behind the Acura dealership.
Yeah.
And so, have y'all always been there? Or?
Actually, for a couple of years, we were just working out of a storage facility. We were at Guardian Self Storage right down, like 1 block down.
Okay.
And we were there for probably about 3 years. And then that was when I first joined the company. But then we decided about 3 years in that we needed to open up an actual showroom so that we could have people in. That wasn't going to be conducive down there, so we found a MEMS space that we could lease. And so we've got 2,300 total square feet, which is about 1,300 of that is warehouse. And then we've got about 1,000 square feet incorporated between 2 small offices, a restroom, and our showroom. So,
Do you get a lot of people coming and looking, or
We do. We
if
invite
you're
every client.
going on calls to people's houses, how often do they come to the showroom?
I would say probably about 30% of the time, because we do our in-home design consultation is very intuitive. It's 3-dimensional on the computer. It's very easy to understand exactly what you're getting and what the space is going to look like when you're done.
And we
So-
take samples with us so the client can see it without coming to the showroom.
Right, so like color samples, style choices for like drawers and doors and handles and all that stuff. We take all of that with us to the client's house. And so on the rare occasion, I mean, we always tell them at every call, hey, we have a showroom. It's by appointment only. If you'd like to come
wanna
visit
come
it,
see.
great. We encourage everybody to come. Most people are just, you know what? White material, standard drawers, bam. Let's just pick an install date and get this thing moving.
Yeah.
So I would venture to say 25 to 30% of the people that we invite to the showroom. Usually it's the larger jobs where there's going to be a lot of volume, or maybe it's a higher end client or something like that. They want to really see the inner workings of how the drawers work, how the doors work, all of that kind of stuff.
I tell you, Jason did a closet for my son's room, and I found it real. I didn't need to go to the showroom, even though I've been to your place before,
Right.
because that technology showing that 3-dimensional rendering really helped me and my wife say, my wife had a vision of what it needed to look like, and you took her vision out of her head and put it in a way where we could visually see it. So I was pretty impressed with that.
So what is your ideal client? Are they homeowners? Are they recently renovated homeowners? Are they new builds? Are they folks who are renting?
Sure, that's a great question. Honestly, we don't get a lot of renting situations, only because if it's a rental, people don't want to throw a whole lot of money into fixing up somebody else's property.
Gotcha.
So that is very, very small. I'd say probably less than 1% of the total business.
Okay.
I have had a couple over the course of years, but not many.
People downsizing, maybe want to
definitely
can't get rid of those
older folks retiring into those 55 active senior communities.
Yeah. There's one being built. Yeah.
Those are twice a week.
There's one in Canton that loves Jason. He's out there a couple of times a month.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And so we service all over the metro area. So I was actually in McDonough on a sales call this morning. But to answer your question, all different genres of people. You get the young millennials that are now just into finding a way to better organize their lives and all that kind of stuff before they start having kids. Mm-hmm. You've got the people that have been in their house for a very long time, but don't really want to sell the house, but they want to update it. Like even in the house that Van and I both live in, we live in houses that were built in the mid 60s. So the closets are smaller and you usually got one shelf and one bar, and that was about it. So we can go in and just make even the tiniest of closets into a much better space. So a lot of those type of people. And then, of course, your downsizers and the people that are upsizing. Mm-hmm. Maybe they've gotten a huge increase in their life, or they're having more children, and they're really looking for better organization. So we get a lot of all over the map of the clientele that call us for sure.
So is that what mainly it's people calling or going to the website? Like, how has your business come to you?
I'm going to let Chelsea talk about the advertising.
She's in charge of marketing and advertising?
She is.
We have a couple of builders that we work with, smaller builders, who will just call us when they are working on a house and they know, they're putting in a small-ish closet. They need something really functional to appeal to their home buyers. Mm. So we have a couple of those, and mostly it's just Google ads, and we have a small Facebook presence. We should really probably do more there. But
we do advertising in magazines a lot.
We do.
So like home improvement magazines. What's like Home and Decor?
Home and Decor. Mm-hmm.
There's a couple of different ones. The Home Mag is another one. And everybody gets these in their mailbox. Most people probably end up throwing them in the trash. But they do bring quality, because the people that do pick up those magazines are actually looking for somebody to do those type of jobs.
Yeah.
You would never do like the value pack that you get in the mail.
That's not one we've done before. But also, that's
I wonder
just
who actually uses. I mean, I get those. You get those right in your mailbox.
I do.
They come every week, and I look. I'm like, they go right into the garbage.
You know what's funny? We did closets for the guy that owns the Valpak.
The Valpak
In Chicago, Illinois. He lives here up in Johns Creek, but he owns the Valpak up there. They're franchised locations, and he was trying to hit me up for a long time.
Good story there.
But 50% of our business does come from repeat clients or referrals from a previous client.
A lot of referrals.
So we have a strong reputation.
Well, hopefully people listening to this show will say, hey, I'd like my old Chambly home, redone, and give you a call. We'll get your contact information at the end.
Husbands, give your wife a reason to talk about you. Organize. Initiate.
You know what's funny?
Mother's Day is coming up.
you would be surprised on how many times we've gotten a call saying the husband wants me to come out, do a design because he's going to surprise his wife for Christmas or a birthday or whatever. We actually had one client right around the corner from us in Chambly that went as far as we came to an agreement on the design. His wife went to work at 8 o'clock in the morning. Her mother showed up at the house, helped him empty the closet. We took care of everything else, installed it, and we were gone by 3 o'clock. She came home at 4, and he got the whole thing on video.
Talk about a gift
She
that
was-
keeps on giving.
Yeah,
you know.
I mean, it really. So, I mean, that happens more times than you would actually like. It's funny to joke around about it, but it really happens.
No, I
I
know.
would be scared though to do that.
I know.
I would be scared that I would give her the closet that doesn't work for her.
Well,
That's
most
All
of
right,
the
so
time,
Chelsea, as a woman,
Yes.
how isn't that? I mean, closets are like hugely important to
very,
women.
It's very personal. So usually my recommendation is we'll come out and measure the space and design what we think needs to go in there, and then you gift wrap the plans and give them the plans, and
Okay.
they get the final say before
They show it.
the
They show
material
it to
is
their
put in the-
wife
Yes.
before you actually come out and
Yes,
install.
that's the safer
That would
way
be a
to
safer
do it.
way to do
It's
it.
definitely
Yes.
the safer way to do it.
You better know somebody really, really well if you're going to have it installed for them.
Right.
It's a good point, Chelsea.
Yeah.
And give your wife the opportunity to have the anticipation of what's about to come too.
That's
You know,
true.
Some
yeah.
people really enjoy and
Yeah.
relish in that.
Yeah.
But Van, I like my closet space too. It's not just the women who like that, you know. I gotta have a place for my old shirts that
Yeah.
my wife is constantly trying to get rid of. But
Yeah. I like my closet
So
space.
I will tell you, I've been married for a long time. We've been together for 25 plus years, and we have a rule: she's not allowed in my closet.
all right.
So
Separation
it-
of closets is not
Yes.
a bad idea. If you have that luxury, we get new homes, older homes, whatever, where you have a his and a hers closet. No matter how big or small they are, it's a beautiful thing.
yeah, they say separation of church and state, but I think this is even bigger than that.
It might be.
Separation of closet and sink.
That's right.
So back to the business. Just so do I make sure I understand? Do y'all do any reconfiguration of like drywall? I mean, what extent of the design are we talking about?
Well, I'll be honest with you. We are always looking for new ways and avenues of income. So, what the hardest part for us has been in the past is finding installers that are fully capable of moving walls, doing sheetrock. I mean, those are skilled carpenters. You know what I mean? It's not just anybody you hire off of the street.
Yeah.
So we feel that right now we have two very high quality installers, and so we are now starting to research getting into different aspects of making it more of a full concierge service. Right now, the way the business runs is we go in, we design your closet, we pull out the wire shoving, and we put in the new stuff. And then you put everything back into the closet. One-stop shop.
Yeah.
A lot of people ask us about painting. So we're thinking about getting into maybe a day before the installation. We have a crew go out there, dismantle all of the old shelving or wire shoving, whatever it is, spackle paint, give us a fresh, clean state. Then the install crew comes in, and then even providing some sort of maybe some organizational services by a professional organizer to go in on the back end and help them reorganize everything.
This
So
is not like
that's-
a Seinfeld episode where the woman comes in and wants to put everything on hooks.
Maybe,
You remember that?
Maybe.
Am I the only one? Am I dating myself? Are our younger clientele going to know what the hell I'm talking about?
No
They might
comment.
not. They
Yeah.
might not.
No
But,
comment.
Hooks everywhere.
That's right. That's right.
All right, well, we have come up to our break. We need to take a short break to hear from our sponsors. When we come back, we'll play our ever fun game, Hot or Not. Stay tuned.
Do you want to know the 7 biggest retirement blunders that people make with their money? Go to oxygenfinancial.net and get our free retirement guide and learn how to take control of your retirement plan here in 2019. Blunder number 2 has to do with the government and taxes. And blunder number 4 is something important to do with all of your IRA accounts. Worst of all is blunder number 3. Go to oxygenfinancial.net right now to get your free 7 biggest retirement blunders guide and get your 2019 off to the right financial start.
All right, welcome back to Between Two Trains. We have with us Jason Ianitello of Closets Design and More. And Eric, I just realized this is our 3rd entrepreneur in a row who's named Jason. We had Jason from the Hand and Stone about a month ago. We had Jason from Elite Edge Fitness, and now we have another Jason. I swear I did not do that on purpose. There just seems to be a lot of Jason entrepreneurs in the Chamblee area.
3 in a row.
3 in a row. So we're going to play Hot or Not. I will take the first one. So Hot or Not. telling your employees about your financials, sharing your financials with your employees.
Not.
That's not hot. You wouldn't do that. Your installers have no idea what the money looks like.
Nope.
That's pretty
Plain and
simple.
simple.
Very simple, not hot.
We have the capability of showing the client all of the pricing on the paperwork that we submit to them.
Yeah.
But on the installation paperwork that I send with the installers with all the schematic layouts,
They have no idea.
There's not a dollar sign on there. They have no idea the dollar amount of what they're installing.
And you're not sharing with them, how much money you're making or what kind of
No.
profit or.
No.
We've
None of
just
their
found
business.
that it becomes problematic.
You had that issue.
We did. We
Yeah.
used to actually show the pricing on the schematics that we would send with them, and we started really slowly, but feeling that they were like, well,
You're making all this money.
yeah, you're making all this
Right.
money. We need to get paid more. We want a percentage. We want this. We want that.
Right.
And we pay pretty good. We pay by the hour, but
But
there
if they
is
don't
plenty of
understand
overtime.
all the things that goes into
Sure.
Owning your own business,
right, like
Yeah, pay for
health
insurance.
insurance
utilities,
and
the
rent
insurance,
and maintenance on the work vans.
Sure.
The payroll taxes for them. I mean, it's there is a lot. They don't see any of that, so we just started taking the numbers away from them.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a difference between gross profit and net income.
Yes.
A big one.
Yeah.
But
Very
we
large.
do give bonuses based on how well the business does
Yeah.
at the end of the
Okay.
year. So they do, I mean, they don't know the numbers, but they do see that the company was profitable and they are being rewarded for their.
Rewarded for it.
Right.
Sure.
Right.
Because they're a big part of our performance.
Sure.
Yeah. They're
Sure.
the face of the company.
So Jason, Chelsea, Jason, you came into the company. There was a 5-year plan of a transition period. It turned into 7 years. So now that you're at the helm, 5-year plan, is that something that's hot or not?
Very hot. Yeah. We talk about our 5-year plan all the time. Not only where we want to see our roles in the company being in 5 years, we have kids that at least at the moment show an interest in the company and doing different roles. We actually pay them to do things already with the company. We're very open and honest with our children about
That might be
sometimes
child
we have
labor
to work.
laws.
No. We need to put them on payroll so that they can open up a Roth IRA.
Listen, that's
We'll
on
talk
our,
offline about that.
That's on our short list.
Yeah.
But really, we are very open and honest with our children because there's a lot of times where running sales calls, I have to be at the customer's mercy. I have to work in the evening. They don't understand why is Dad not home for dinner. So we're very open.
Or
and,
missing a soccer game.
Yeah, or missing a soccer game on a Saturday or something like that. So we have to be very open and honest with them about everything that goes into the owning your own business, but also share with them the rewards that can come out of that. So it's definitely hot.
So this is not necessarily hot or not, but what's the next step for the company? Where's the expansion lie? Is it just bringing in more clientele and maybe hiring some more installers? Are you at a point where the warehouse space you're at is at capacity? Do we need to expand that space?
Right.
What's phase 2 look like?
It's a great question. We are in the middle of figuring that out at the moment, to be honest with you. We don't have a hard answer, but we would love to have, right now we have one installation crew and we do jobs 5 days a week. We would love for that to eventually be 2 installation crews, so we're running 10 jobs 5 days a week, right?
But it will require more space.
It will require not only more
The warehouse is at capacity?
Yes.
It's right now, if we stayed the size that we are at, we could live in that space. Yeah. If we get any bigger, that means more product coming in, more places to stage it and manage where it goes. Then we're going to have to hire somebody to manage all of that by itself and operate the 2 crews and that kind of thing. So we're figuring out as we go. And that's kind of why we look ahead at the 5-year plan and say, where do we want to be and how are we going to get there? And we're basically going backwards to figure out the steps to enable us to get there.
You know, Chamblee is really hot right now, a lot of development going on, and we've heard from a lot of our previous guests about how if they're renting warehouse space or they have a retail space, how those rents are going up. Are you experiencing any of that, or because of where you're at over there on the Motor Mile, that really hasn't been affected yet?
I'll be honest with you.
Because MIMS is pretty notorious for raising rents.
Right. And we were in a 3-year lease, which came up right around the time of the transition of the business last year. So I signed another 3 years. It went up a little bit, but not much. I have looked at the possibility of looking into a bigger space so that we could do an expansion quicker than we had anticipated. But I got to be honest with you, the rent out there right now is pretty high. So being where I'm at right now
to be inside 285 and still have affordable rent.
Yeah,
it's tough.
Absolutely. Plus, we really love the street that we're on because we do a lot of, like, people have put granite on top of an island top, and Toro Granite's right across the street. We put a lot of glass inside of doors, and MG Glass is 2 doors down from me.
Or mirrors. We do a lot of mirrors.
Mirrors,
and closets.
right. So
So you've got some strategic partners of businesses
on the same street,
street.
Across the street, next door, like within walking distance. I've had several customers come to the showroom and they say they're interested in a piece of granite. I'll walk them across the street. I have an account and a relationship with Toro Granite. Same thing with MG Glass. So it's a great. We all help each other.
Ultimately,
I see some other entrepreneurs that we need to bring on the show, Eric.
It's a nice neighborhood.
Yeah.
Let's get the whole cul-de-sac.
Yeah,
That's right.
We'll
It'll be a party.
do a group thing.
Yeah.
Ultimately,
Chelsea, what
I
were you
would
saying?
like to own a space, but
Right.
if rent is high, owning is
Prices are pretty high.
Yes.
If you're going to stay inside 285.
right.
Right.
And I'm assuming because you live in Chamblee that you prefer to
we definitely
keep close by to
we
Chamblee.
We do. You know, one of the reasons we used to not be located in Chamblee. We used to actually be located in Norcross. That was actually the driving force when I started with the company. The very first thing I wanted to do was move the actual location and the operations of the company, because one thing that I was taking into consideration is, you know, when you have hourly paid employees, they show up at 7:30, and when they drive to the customer's house, we got to pay them for drive time.
Sure.
Right? So if we're in Alpharetta, I'm making this up, and they're driving downtown, they sit in an hour's worth of traffic just like everybody else. But because a lot of our business is north of where we are, because we are inside 285, we're against the flow of traffic both directions.
Yeah.
In the morning, we're going against the flow, going north, everybody's coming south.
Is that what you're
and
mainly
vice versa.
seeing is North Atlanta is most of your clientele? I know
Gwinnett
you mentioned
County.
McDonough and that, but
That's an occasional,
Right.
you know, for the most part, we don't do a lot on the south side. I would say less than 10% of our business is on the south side. I would say it ranges anywhere from Stone Mountain all the way over to, you know, Marietta and West Cobb, and all points north. So, you know, Alpharetta, Johns Creek is just crushing it right now. They're building, and there are a ton of people moving there. Gwinnett County is still...
are y'all doing stuff for new builds or it's just rehabs?
Both.
Oh, both.
So you'll
New
have
builds.
a new builder come and say, hey, listen, I'm building this house. I don't want to do the closet myself.
Absolutely. They will actually ask, like, let's just say, for example, they're buying a Pulte house, right? So they're going, they get their house, they're having it built. They don't want any of the wire shelving. They know that up front. So they come to us and get the design plan going weeks in advance so that they can have the opportunity to tell their builder, don't put any wire shelving in the closet.
My guy's
I'm
gonna
having
come in.
Somebody come in and do it the day that we close.
Well, we are surprisingly out of time here. We're beyond our normal time, but I feel like this is an exciting episode. So, Chelsea, tell us, since you're our marketing, people listening to this show, if they want a closet, what do you want them to do? Should they go to your website, or what's the best thing? Call you personally, so your closure rate is higher?
Well, my percentage is pretty good, so I'm going to hang on to that.
You feel comfortable with that?
Yes.
You'll send them to Jason.
Exactly.
Right.
They can go to our website, closetdesignsandmore.com, and there's a little web form to fill out. That just shoots us an email, and we'll call them back or send them an email, or they can call Jason. I don't know that number anymore.
I mean, we have a company business phone.
Yeah, what's that number?
404-245-1323.
It's so easy with a cell phone now. I don't have to remember a number. I just press the button and call.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys for coming on the show. Thank you, Eric, again for another great episode as co-host. We will be back in a couple of weeks with more great entrepreneurs, so stay tuned. Thanks for listening.
Excellent. Thanks for having me.